Hello.
Coming in hot to review the super normal, super
Yes.
straightforward film, Beau is Afraid.
Welcome to another episode from the lot.
Nothing weird about this movie whatsoever.
Yeah, this is a very
easy to follow.
Oh my God.
very pedestrian film.
If you didn't get it, you're a fucking dunce.
Well, this much is clear. And I think that really the fact that people are so confused by it just shows how stupid we've gotten as a society.
Because people are making stupid movies like that.
You can, we have a guest here today. As always,
The games begin.
Oh God.
I am Josh Loney. This is Will Hammond. And today we have the lovely...
Ah!
Oh, that's nice. That's Jasmin Toubi.
So that movie
Jasmin
made me feel.
Toubi, part 2 be on the podcast.
Yes.
Why am I here?
Of the band Shadinist.
I want to go home.
She donist.
So, what was your take, Jasmine? I think you had the hottest take
Right.
on this.
I have very strong
really liked it.
feelings.
You really liked it.
I suffered. I've been in pain all day, and this did not help. Oh man.
You thought you were coming to see a nice little movie?
Well,
Yeah,
I knew
what do you
it
think
was
you were
gonna
getting into? A
be-
romantic comedy? Or?
I knew it was gonna be painful to watch, but I was also confused. So that made it worse.
What was confusing for you? Is it
Pretty
'cause you're
much
stupid?
all of it. I think every scene that happened, I just progressively kept saying, "What the fuck?
I found
What
myself
the
saying
fuck?
what the fuck a few times
What
throughout the film.
The fuck is going on?"
You said "what the fuck" after Parker Posey ate it. Pretty loudly. You're just like, "What the?"
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's the lady he'd saved himself for. So for those, I don't know why the hell you'd be watching this if you don't know about the movie, but it's
You hate yourself.
it's the sort of movie we went into blind.
Yep.
Right? Did
Yep.
anyone here look it up or no?
How'd you watch the movie if you're blind?
Hey, there you go, Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine is ready. She's fucking
on it.
throwing rocks tonight.
I'm angry, dude.
She's hyped up.
I'm
She's
mad
coming
that
for you,
I had to
Ari
watch
Aster.
this shit.
So-
Coming for your ass, bitch. You
From
better
one
get
Jew
ready.
to another.
I
What the fuck?
I went into this movie totally blind. I thought I've never seen an Ari Aster movie,
That's true.
Me too. Same.
so I was just like, everyone says this guy's so hot.
Getting the cherry popped by this one, huh?
Yeah, I just figured, fuck it, going blind, see what's up.
It's like getting gangbanged by the fucking Dallas Cowboys, bro.
well, I think that like you know,
First time.
my favorite movies from my favorite directors tend to be the really ambitious, weird ones, and it seems to me that this is his. He's like, I might not
He
ever get to
tried.
make a movie this ambitious again.
Oh,
Sort of like throw everything you can in this one.
He tried to do
'Cause if-
something.
'cause if
I don't
it-
know what the fuck it was.
I mean, they spent $35 million on this,
Oh God.
and it's made about 8 so far.
Oh,
and
really? No shit?
Yeah, but it hasn't had a super wide release. We're seeing it in an art house theater,
I mean, it's playing at the Opry, but it's
but
only
it's
playing
3.
at
It's also
noon.
3 hours.
3
Less
hours
people go
long.
to. Yeah, exactly. So
Oh,
I'm sure
God.
they have a streaming deal,
So unnecessary.
but all that said, I think he's just like, I could potentially never make another
I
movie.
mean, I
again.
hope he had fun.
So
'Cause
fuck
I
it.
sure didn't.
Because it does seem to be contemplating life and death. By the way, this podcast, as always, is brought to you by Coast Smokes.
We be coasting.
You want a Coast Smoke? Here you
I'm totally smoking a Coast Smoke.
We be smoking on them coastings.
go. You want a Coast Smoke?
No, I don't care right now.
You sticking with your Parleys?
The
Oh shit.
Well, so anyway, Jasmine, what did you expect going in, and how did it not deliver?
Well, I hate horror movies. I'm not a horror movie
I wouldn't call this a
fan.
horror movie.
yeah, I wouldn't either.
I didn't expect it to be a horror movie, but I knew that's what he's known for. So I didn't expect
I told you going
to
in.
like
He calls it a
going in.
surrealist tragic comedy.
There were, I chuckled.
Definitely some like very some black comedy elements in it.
I chuckled a
Sure.
couple
Dark-
times,
dark
but
comedy.
honestly, all of the funny parts were just kind of drowning in the terror. So it was hard to laugh.
He does a good job of putting you there, even if it is. He does a good
He
job
put
of
me there
immersing
and
you in the
kept me
movie,
there.
even if it is in the state of like, what the fuck is going on? Which I definitely think is his point. I think he's a very intentioned director.
I didn't
He
feel.
definitely kept me there for
I just
way
don't know
longer
what
than I
his
would have
intention
liked
was
to
with this
have
one.
been.
Per se.
Right, that's not clear. Well, and I mean, I think, he's having some fun where he's like, ha, fucking
It was
right.
kind of meta because there was like the play
Yes,
and the
it's very
play.
meta.
Very Lynchian.
The play part was the
Very
movie,
Lynchian.
and then there was the camera, and he fast forwarded to the end of the movie, and he told the story of his life, and it was shit.
Yeah, okay, so once we got to the point where he's, so, again, spoilers. But
Also, for the record, I did miss the first 30 minutes of the movie. I arrived a little late.
you missed
So-
about 20, I think.
20?
I don't
Okay.
think.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think we were
shit.
that in. When we got
Okay.
in there, we had for sure missed the therapist appointment and some establishment of the mise en scène. But based on, so I looked at the synopsis quickly at the beginning, just to read the first paragraph, just to see, like, did I miss anything? Where are we in the picture? And I caught up. And most of the background in the synopsis was obviously revealed later. Like, I don't think they said, oh, your dad dies of orgasm in the first 5 minutes. I assumed after reading the synopsis they had, so I had that piece of information going in.
Gotcha.
But it's like, so I think all it could have been is he had his therapist appointment,
And
and
he lives
and
in
they
I
established
didn't-
the
I didn't
city.
miss that much. 'Cause
A
I was very
terrible
curious
place.
how much I
But the
missed.
city, you did miss, honestly, my favorite part of the movie, which was when they're just establishing Beau's mindset, right? And I'm bummed I missed more of that because he's clearly an anxious
You
person.
didn't assume
He's somewhat
that he's
agoraphobic,
Yeah.
right? He doesn't like leaving his apartment because outside his apartment is just like hobos
danger.
and violence and dirtiness, and his apartment's very clean and simple and sparse, and his mother's very domineering, and he takes this anxiety medication and he's out of water, and he has to drink from this water bottle, but there's like only drops left, and he's like, oh well, I can just go to the sink, but the sink isn't working, and so he has to run downstairs and bless you, yes, he has to run downstairs and get himself some water, but someone has stolen his keys from his door. So he has to like
prop
leave the door open. So then all the homeless people from the city go into his apartment and like just trash it.
Then
Uh-huh.
he runs out of money.
And the city streets are empty. That was like a cool moment. Also, his neighbor would like kept saying he was making noise and like leaving notes like, asked you to turn it down and you turn it up even though he's just trying to sleep.
Gotcha.
And his neighbor starts like pounding on his. So it's all very Lynchian. We're setting the scene for this guy's mindset,
The
which is
phone
already
call
not
was also
particularly
very Lynchian.
Stable.
stable. Yes, the phone call with
Yeah.
the mom was straight.
Lynch
David
loves
Lynch.
terrifying phone calls.
He fucking does, man. That's actually a really good call.
Yeah,
The phone call in the Lost Highway.
I always notice it
It was
in his
one
movies.
of the creepiest
That's the
fucking
best scene, yes.
dude.
It's terrible.
When
It
he's
is
just like, call
phone
me
calls.
at your house.
Terrifying.
Every phone call in that movie, really. When he's just like, I'm just calling to see how you doing. Is that the one you're talking about? Or the one where he's like, I'm in your house?
Yeah,
I'm
when
in
he's
your
talking to his Robert
house.
Blake.
Yeah.
Is that that? Yeah. Yeah.
In your house.
I'm in your house.
I told you I was here.
So fucking wild, man.
I actually think that's my favorite scene, probably from Lynch ever. But
Ugh.
the phone call that freaked me out the most in that movie is when
Bill Pullman.
he's transformed into Balthazar Getty.
Oh shit.
And,
that's-
fucking Robert Loggia. He's banging Robert Loggia's girl, right?
Mhm.
And the mystery man calls, and he's just like, and he does his mystery man thing, where he's just like, who is this, right?
Yeah.
And then he just like puts on Robert Loggia, and Robert Loggia is just like, you doing all right? You doing good? Or maybe it's that he puts on the mystery man. You doing good? Yeah, I'm just calling Rick to make sure. I forget his Pete. Pete, I'm just calling to make sure you're doing okay. And he just says that over and over again, like,
Yeah.
just hopping back on, Pete, just to make sure everything's good and you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Just like this really innocuous statement made it enormously menacing.
Yeah.
And dude, that's like, I keep talking and letting this go out. That's like very much the vibe of the first part of the movie. So obviously I like that because it's like playing the hits. It's kind of like,
I love the way
it's the Greta
that-
Van Fleet of Lynch in a sense.
I love the, it was. I love the way that he
but better
Made
than
the
Greta Van
city.
Fleet. It's the Royal. It's the
Yeah, I
Royal
was like,
Rival
it's-
Sons.
he's
The Rival
definitely-
Sons,
he's
where it's like that's a
definitely-
pretty sick
it's
band.
Not
Actually,
Greta Van Fleet. He's
Walmart,
higher quality.
Lynch.
like Rival Sons. Everyone in that band is a killer. Are they basically Zeppelin?
They are
Yeah.
Zeppelin. Yeah.
But that guy can fucking sing. Everyone in it is
He's a
like
very good guitar
like
player,
it's like
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
you would have been Zeppelin if you'd been alive at that
Yeah,
time.
you're a murderer.
You at least like live up to it. So Ari Aster's much more like that than Greta Van Fleet, who are just pale.
Yeah.
imitators.
And if you should go watch Hereditary and Midsummer. Those are, I'll say this as the only person who's seen his other two movies here. I mean, this is definitely, and I want to watch this again. I think my overall impression of the movie is a bit more positive than Jasmine's, but still very perplexed.
Yeah, why?
But I do think this is my least favorite out of his three movies. I think
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think Hereditary.
But is that because you don't
Um,
understand it, or is it because of actual technical
No,
reasons?
even I think technical reasons, storytelling reasons, man.
Because it's too
how-
confusing.
I don't even know if I would consider it. I mean, yes, I am confused right
It-
now, but
it
it just
didn't
seemed to
make any
ramble.
sense.
It
Yes.
just, it
Have-
just.
Well,
it
have you
just-
seen Inland Empire?
Yeah, that's my least favorite David Lynch.
It's the
movie.
worst David Lynch movie.
Yeah.
Dragged.
Because you're just like no,
For
it
3
doesn't have the
hours.
exact magic.
That's Inland Empire too,
It
by
is.
the way.
I watched it
That's
one
an
time all the
exact
way through.
Description. I
Yeah.
never have fit. I've tried to watch Inland Empire 4 times at this point. Every single time. First time I made it 20 minutes. Next time I made it about like 30, 40 minutes. Fell asleep. Next time I made it about like 50, 60 minutes, and I was like, God damn it, this sucks. And then the next time I made it about 90 minutes, and then I just was like, fuck this.
See, I had to reverse.
I've only made it like halfway.
I got through the movie the first time I watched it, and it was after I was a huge David Lynch fan, and I was like,
Lou from Oil Barons, that's his favorite Lynch movie.
I was just like, I don't think I like this. And every time I've tried to watch it since then, I'm never able to finish it, and it's almost just like it gets shorter and shorter each time I try and watch it. After the first time, it's just like, no, I can't do this.
Right. Well, because
But-
dude, but with Inland Empire, it has the excuse of being this sort of like
Good.
I'll kill it. Fuck it. This excuse of being an experimental film. One, he's using digital at a time when like 4K doesn't even exist, and I don't even think 2K exists. I think he's just doing it in 1080p. And then beyond that, it doesn't look so. He's using digital like to make it look kind of shitty.
Mm.
And then beyond that, he wrote each piece of each page. They filmed one page a day, and he filmed the page, or he wrote the page the day they filmed it. So it's like an experiment in stream of consciousness, right?
Yeah.
This I don't think was made that way.
No, I think no. I think again, I kind of said this earlier. Especially after
Well, I was
watching
afraid, I mean.
Hereditary and Midsummer, Ari Aster. I think he's very meticulous with his shots, like his storytelling, both visually and just exposition wise. It's concise. It can be layered, but it's concise, and you get what he's saying.
Nothing
And
about
it
that
looks
movie was
beautiful, and
concise.
it usually looks stunning the way he sets the shots up. This one, I felt like it rambled. You know what I mean? And it
But
it had
wasn't it meant
elements.
to ramble?
It took forever to say nothing.
it did. And again,
Well, okay. Do you think it said nothing?
It
Let's
said
get
like
to that in a
a
second.
couple things.
It's
but
definitely
What do you think it was about? We should each say what we think it was about,
life
after first
is
viewing.
terrible, and
because that's the real question. I don't even know exactly if I'm
Jewish
know what it's about.
moms are overbearing.
What? I didn't hear you.
Life is terrible, and Jewish moms are overbearing.
Okay, but so do you think? What do you think he was trying to say about that, though? Because obviously those are the
Well,
subjects.
there was like the
some of the subjects.
break the chain, in the play part where he was chained, and he took the axe and he broke the
Well,
chain.
but the play brings him back around, so I don't think that it's.
And then he went off and he did his own thing, and he was happy because he had kids, but then he lost his kids. So maybe he was a shit dad too. I don't know. A cycle of trauma.
Yeah, I think it's coming to understand. That part, at least, is coming to
But
understand
his
what
mom
it's like
was
to become a
definitely
parent. Like this
crazy.
movie has some eraserhead to it.
Well-
In that it's
Okay.
it's got this like fear of paternity and fear of adulthood, more accurately, but also like adulthood means parenthood for every adult in history until the birth control pill, right? And
That's really interesting.
so what is adulthood if it's not tied to parenthood? And people are in this. So to me, it seemed very much to be about millennial and post-millennial attitudes and lifestyles. Like this is the incel horror movie in a sense, right? He's never fucked.
Definitely.
It's not his fault he's never fucked.
So
His
I was-
mom
in fact, he can't
traumatized
fuck.
I
him.
was gonna say, like, you know,
From
is it
fucking-
basically, is the movie supposed to represent, like, Beau represents in a way like the modern male, and is the movie just supposed to be a commentary on the state of the modern male? This idea of it
It seemed that
being
way to me.
weakened, you know, to be like basically being neutered, if you will.
Absolutely,
But
yes.
it wasn't
Um,
society that was doing it to him. It was his mom.
Well, but his mom.
But his mom
his
can be
mom-
representative of something else.
And his mom, exactly. His mom also runs a massive corporation that she starts
Sure,
for
yeah.
And,
herself.
she has access to all the cameras because it's a security.
Is it a
Company.
I
Yes.
was wondering.
This was
is
something
it-
we
Yeah.
definitely
They-
missed by not
Did
seeing the
she
very
go-
beginning.
They eventually
from
merge into becoming a
pharmaceuticals-
security company. It seems like they're like,
from pharmaceuticals to.
It started as a restaurant. It looked like.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
When he's looking through a room, you see it sort of like it branch out to where it just becomes this massive conglomeration that is now involved with security. And
And
it's
now
like,
she had a picture of him the moment he found out she died. On the wall,
Mhm.
right?
So in a
Which
way,
is bizarre and interesting. And that's the thing is,
she basically could just represent the corporate state, and you know, anyway.
well,
But again, I'm not
in a
really
Freudian sense,
sure, you know?
the superego.
The surveillance state.
Well, the superego is both connected to concepts of the tyrannical mother and tyrannical father, right?
Yeah.
But also to society and mores, right? Like you're tyrannical, like you understand, even if you don't think about it, like you just kind of instinctively understand. Like your parents don't just say, "Don't fuck," in say a traditional Christian household, because they hate fucking, right? They don't have a personal reason for it. They do it because everyone says, hey, don't do that, right? So there's a social element to it. There's a societal element to the superego as well that's pretty commonly understood in all Freudian sort of works. So, like, I think that's actually a pretty salient connection, whoever the fuck just made it. I didn't exactly realize it till now. Yeah, we're good, man. Thank you.
Basically, because y'all spot me 20 to get home. And
No, I don't have any cash, man.
I don't have any cash money, brother. I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
So the city.
I left
in,
LA for what?
the city in the first part of the movie was like L.A. as I remember it.
Well, yeah, but it's also New York.
It
It's really
was
trying to be New
Okay,
York.
I was
I
going
think.
to ask you earlier
horrifying.
if they ever specify what city he's in.
It looked like they were on the East Coast because she was in like the beach or whatever.
It was LA shot to look like New York.
It was probably a set, but
No, it was almost certainly
it was
downtown
like
LA. Dude.
Hell
Like,
City. Every
so much
city
cheaper
in
to get-
America looks like that now. Just fucking.
well,
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, they probably shot it.
I thought that all the homeless imagery, like this is clearly someone who's lived fittingly.
Not just homeless, like
Fittingly,
like
this movie is
insane.
very much about. Well, dude, but that's the thing. If you live in LA,
Naked guys stabbing you.
yes, well, that happened in LA. That's a
It
reference to an actual news story.
It's happening
By the way.
everywhere.
And I recognized
Yeah.
exactly what he saw at his window because it's what I saw at my window. Not as extreme, but they're putting in this extreme context
Yeah.
because let's be real,
When he runs
we're all
out,
desensitized now. But
when-
in an actual phenomenological fact, that is about as extreme as what you're looking at when you just see the destitution in person.
It
You know what I mean?
is. No,
When
I
he-
thought it
when
was
he-
accurate.
when he runs out of
So you like that part?
the whole, when he runs out of
It
the
was horrifying.
apartment into the street and he's butt ass naked, And there's the old guy who's butt ass naked, covered in blood, who just stabbed the
Stabbing
other
him.
guy. You know, I mean, it's pure fucking mayhem. You know what I mean? It's
the
just
whole
like,
outside every time. That's why he's like hiding inside.
yeah,
He
yeah.
did live
And
above
then,
a
and not to
whorehouse.
mention,
There must have been a sequence where they showed him like frantically always locking his door.
the whole bathtub sequence, man. When all of a sudden that
God.
dude is just like,
That was kind of lynchy too.
I mean, see, that's the thing is like I like this movie.
But what
Okay, I'm
does
not
it
gonna say that I
mean?
didn't like it, but I'll definitely need to watch it again. I think
What was the point
Now
of
that
that
I-
man? What did
'cause
he
I think
that was a homeless
symbolize?
man.
because I think there's certain movies where,
What was the meaning?
especially, I think there's certain movies that the
Well,
first
he was afraid
time
of
you
him.
see it, you don't know anything going into it. It's like, all right, it happens. Maybe it's the meaning's not clear.
And that's the
versus-
fun of
it-
surrealism,
it-
though, is it
yeah,
just takes
exactly.
you
Yeah, it's,
wherever
you
the
know,
fuck. That's why
I don't, I
Nowhere.
don't necessarily want a movie that slaps me in the face immediately with what it's getting at. Like that can be boring and dull. And I think a lot of times with movies nowadays, there's nothing left to the imagination in terms of like what they're trying to say, which I don't like. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having to watch a movie a couple times or more than that to sort of get what they're saying. I at this point just don't know what he's
So
saying.
what do you
And
think it was
I do
about?
want to
Yeah.
watch it again. I mean, I think I guess what I said earlier. As of right now, this idea that he represents the modern male and the state that it's in,
Yeah.
but
I think I would agree with
well,
that.
okay, but honestly, but then there's also this. Okay, there's
It's also about
there's different
yourself.
family. There's the idea
challenging
of
you and
of
your own
family
bullshit.
trauma. You know, having a traumatic childhood or traumatic upbringing or surviving traumatic experiences, right? Like PTSD, family trauma. That's something that is in Hereditary and Midsommar 100% what the movies are based around. And it's a common element through all three of his films. So
He has
I think
issues.
honestly, I would imagine after watching this movie again, I bet that I would say that like, oh, this probably again is speaking more towards that than anything else. Family trauma, PTSD. I mean, you know,
Okay,
if
the
you've
family
seen
trauma
Hereditary,
thing.
it's fucking crazy as hell, dude. Midsommar is also like, it's just really fucking dark. Florence Pugh's character, what happens to her family before they even get to the cult in Switzerland.
Don't ruin it. I
Sweden.
haven't seen it.
I mean, it's really fucking dark and really bleak, and Hereditary's just a more extended version of almost that story, you know.
Well, so I think that the family trauma element was somewhat cheap, and it was one of the sources of skepticism for me in the film. Just in that A, it's easy to say we all have trauma, but also B, I think that like that element's there. Perhaps as a comment to be charitable, I think it's probably a comment on people's obsession with trauma.
The other movie,
Right?
yes.
And at the end, what you see is like the mom airs all her resentments. It's very Freudian once again, and it's Kafka at the end. And Kafka obviously was kind of this whole all these people are German. It's got a very German sensibility, and fucking the point kind of seems to be, and then like he misremembered, like with the defense, where he's like he was actually lost. He was afraid of retribution, right? But also, like, the defense can't really be heard. He doesn't have a microphone.
He wanted to be a good
And
son.
I know,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter to the person you hurt what you meant,
Okay, so I'll say this in this
right? And so in that regard, sorry,
His
just to
mom
wrap
was
up
a
the point,
Yeah.
in that regard, I think it's kind of saying, hey, you, basically it's just like you have one side of it, they have their side of it, and all that really matters in moving forward is how they feel about it. It doesn't matter how you feel about it, because you can, if they care, they can ask, right? But how they feel about it is how you're going to deal with the problem. And the actual failing of Beau's character, and the reason it's called Beau is Afraid, and when they make him admit his sins, the first thing he says is he's been a coward, right?
Yeah.
Is all of this shit could have been stopped at pretty much any point, right?
Yeah.
If he just had stood up for himself.
But his mom put him in
And
the
so-
attic.
By the time he's still, even at the end, finally when he decides to, he finally kind of stands up to himself when he tries to leave, but by then his feet are stuck in the boat or whatever.
Yeah.
But also he can't leave. He's like, the whole time he's this helpless
It's like
character.
You've made your bed. I will say this to the family trauma thing. In this movie, like, what happens to Beau and the idea of, like, everyone has their own trauma, it's nothing like in the other two films, in Hereditary,
Okay.
where, like, the traumatic things are actually, like, really fucking crazy. And I don't think it's a matter of, like, relativity as much as just, like...
This one's more psychologically crazy. I mean, she's
Yeah.
watching him always.
Yeah. Hereditary and Midsommar deal with stuff where it's just like, oh, these are tragedies that, like, will rip a fucking family apart because they're so devastating, right? You know, and it's a lot more like it's very real. You know, both those movies are something that's just there's an element of sort of everyday normalness to it. You know,
You're saying they don't have giant attic
but
penis balls with face
yeah, no,
Okay,
no.
so yeah, what the?
I don't want to get it because you haven't seen it, so I don't
guess
want to
that's
give.
the
I don't want to
masculinity
give.
thing.
I don't want to give anything away with the other two movies, but those deal with like PTSD, where it's like, oh, this is significant trauma that a family's undergone.
Well, then there is
And,
some of
you
that
know.
cycle of.
But this one, there's nothing. I guess my point is, in relaying it back to Beau is Afraid, there doesn't seem to be anything for the character Beau that is like on that type of level.
Well, we don't know. Like, we don't
We
know
don't
what,
know.
what happened to his dad.
Right, you know, and it seems to be vague.
Yeah.
To get so who knows? But yes, the giant penis in the attic is his father.
Right,
You
with
know,
a
I mean, it's
face.
like that seems like there's some
Well,
sort
that's
of
the masculinity
commentary on
comment.
absolutely. You
That,
know, like
that women have your dick in the attic, and you're just a fucking.
they got your balls in the purse, kid.
Well, it's because if you think about it,
Look
one
what I had to
one
go
of
through.
one brave twin of the twins, one of them stood up to the mom and didn't believe the bullshit, and really was only ever left in the attic because Beau, instead of doing something about it, just erased the memory. And so it's kind of like it condemns repression in a sense as enabling, and by the way, it is, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if you had done something about it,
Yeah.
it wouldn't. And it's just like, at what point are you going to do something about it? And so in that regard, I now have a more positive view of the film than I did before, because at least I think it was about something worth saying. At the beginning, I was like, when we walked out, I was thinking like, what the hell is that shit about?
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
I had to think of, you know, you just have to sort of sit with you, think about it a little bit. But I think he definitely is speaking
What
to
the fuck
something.
is
and,
with the Nathan Lane, Amy Ryan household?
So is that a commentary on basically just our country being doped the fuck up?
Well,
basically
he's
just
doped the
like-
fuck up too.
Well, his whole
Everyone in the movie.
his
Yeah,
whole
the whole
family.
family.
No, but
Yeah,
Joaquin
but
Phoenix
yeah.
was. Everyone is.
So I think there is this sort of idea of like, you know, Nathan Lane is just almost like he's playing this role, like, you know. in
Well,
the
he's
movie,
American Dad.
Yeah, American Dad. Like he's got this facade, you know.
Yeah.
And yet he's constantly like on the ball of like, hey, it's time for his kid to take more pills. Time for his wife to take more pills. He's taking care of the fucking vet who was a soldier with his son. His son died in war. You know, I'm
But his
assuming
own daughter
it's a
is
commentary
drinking.
on just again like having a country of
But
basically
okay,
just
so what I don't
zombies
understand is when the mom's not only
just
saying,
shells of themselves.
the mom is saying, don't incriminate yourself, and she's
That
also
whole thing was
saying,
so weird, man.
she's also saying like, I know what you're going through.
It's
Look,
very meta.
he's watching. Like, is she saying that?
She was
that
trapped
Nathan-
by her husband.
But is she trapped by Nathan Lane? Is that
Yes, that's what I got from
Okay.
that.
All right. Yeah.
That
But,
is
like-
what I saw from that.
so? Like, the point is
I feel
that
like that
Nathan Lane
makes
will never let him
more
leave.
sense.
Well, because he was also working for
Yes.
the mom.
What?
His picture was in the mom picture.
Uh,
That made me think that he was working for her. Like he was part of her
I
army.
didn't see his. I did not see the picture in the.
So there was the picture of
I remember that, and I saw Parker Posey in it.
made of a ton of
Yeah.
faces. Yeah.
Was the
Nathan
therapist
Lane.
in it? I think he was in it.
I know Nathan Lane was in it.
Yeah, therapist was in
I
it.
did not see Nathan Lane.
I
There's one thing. It's like, dude, stuff like that. Look, you're not making the fucking Shining, okay? Like, you don't need to just like layer it into the background, man.
Yeah,
like, you could just point out to me that like that guy was in the mother's employ, and the whole thing would make a lot more sense to me immediately.
And I
That's
wish.
what I got from it. I don't know if that's what it meant.
Yeah.
That was the most baffling part, and then he gets lost in the woods.
Yeah.
So some of that's also the destruction of the American family, right? It's definitely, frankly, this movie has
Some themes.
some relatively
Think about it
conservative
really
themes.
hard.
Well, that's what surrealism is about, babe. Like,
I hate thinking. It hurts.
oh my god.
Make it stop.
Okay, so we should.
What do you think of it on a level of, you're a fan of surrealism?
Yes.
It's akin to Lynch, but what else do you think that it is akin to anything else, and do you think that it stands out on its own in any unique way?
Well, no, not as much as his other films. And I was gonna say, I wish we should do an episode on Hereditary and Midsummer, or do both of them. I wish you guys had seen them. Those two films are, I think, superior films to this. At least after watching this one time, and I'll watch this again. I don't think it's very surreal. I don't think it stands on its own as well as the other two. Those other two movies.
I have not seen them. I can't compare, but like, what about like? So I got some like very Louis Buñuel vibes,
There's different.
and I appreciated that shit because I love Louis Buñuel, and that's some like classic Salvador Dali era.
Have you shown
I got
me any of
Suspiria
that?
vibes from his first two movies. What
What about from this one though? Not Dario Argento. I didn't really feel that.
No. I mean,
Who do you think this guy wants to be? Do you think he wants to be Lynch? Because Lynch didn't start making horror movies. Do you think he wants to be his own thing?
well, after seeing this, I don't really know. I mean, I think he does want to be his own thing, but this was. I just kept thinking like, oh, this is super Lynchian, right? Oh, this is David Lynch all day. There's multiple times throughout the movies. I was
It
like, okay.
wishes.
The Lynch, no, but
it was
the Lynch lost me around the time. It kind of, I thought it transitioned out of Lynch during the American Family sequence. I stopped. I mean, is it Lynchian in the sound design?
Well,
sure. But
yeah,
like,
but no, yeah, okay.
but
The
like
play
by
within
the
the
time we
play.
got to the woods, yeah, we don't. I felt like he'd already like moved past the Lynch, and that's when I started getting the Buñuel vibes. Was in the family scenes, but also in the forest with like the pregnant woman, and the like all that shit was very much like, that's like classical surrealism. Like Lynch never gets Lynch never gets that surreal. Like he has a specific kind of reality.
But then
And
America,
this part just broke reality.
Okay,
America breaks back
you
into
know
the
what
forest
segment-
and destroys it.
Okay, that segment. What that reminded me of was who's the guy who did The Lighthouse?
Robert
and he did
Eggers.
Yeah, it almost like kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Are these guys in competition?
I don't know.
Is it ever a
I don't know,
competition?
man.
I thought that, okay, so The Lighthouse, which I've heard some people call insufferable, I like.
I liked it, yeah.
I do think that The Lighthouse did not hold up upon second viewing, in
I
that
can
it's just
totally
like,
see
yeah, I
that.
get it. The Lighthouse is a dick. They're
Right.
gay.
Is that really it?
That's kind of that's like, I was hoping there'd be more to it, because the experience and the way it unfolds is also amazing, and the performances are great, and there's some really like disturbing and well placed imagery, and then when you rewatch it, it's like so brief that you're just like, oh, I can't believe I remember that so well. And like, so there's parts of it that like are really well done, but like underneath it all is just like dicks. And like this one again is like dicks.
I guess I would watch it.
But like, but like, This one, I think, has at least more something to say about dicks.
I think so too.
More about balls.
And balls.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, boy, he's got a set on him.
Yeah.
My man's got a fucking. Oh my god, his nuts are fucking huge, and I forgot what they say he has, but
A nut
he
condition.
be having something wrong with his nuts.
No, it's because he's never
never-
came. He never orgasmed
Never jerked
until
off. Like,
until his mother died.
Well, right, so
well,
his
mom
nuts are
said
just
he would
huge.
die.
Because that's why. And when he comes, she's like, "You broke the bag." I fucking cracked the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard during that part.
That was pretty
I
funny.
don't
right?
think anyone else in the theater
Was his jizz poison, and that's why it killed her?
Yeah. Well, okay. So what?
That's
That's where why did she die? I thought it was a good image.
Confused.
It was a good
I was so
image.
confused.
But her eyes did look like the daughter's eyes when she drank paint.
I know. Yes.
Yeah, like he poisoned his fucking
I don't
sperm was
fucking know.
poisoned. The strength of his
His
fucking
mom
load was
probably
too powerful,
killed
you know.
her.
Fucking
I'm assuming the mom had something to do with it.
Well, in a sense, with the brother being dead, it's kind of calling out us and our generation specifically again, in that it's like, yeah, okay, well, sure, dads get tyrannical to children, right? But, and sure, people might be on dope. Let's take the pills out of it. And I hope we can see it in the 360.
The Vanderbilt Hospital helicopter.
Nice. Well, there's a walking clinic right there, obviously, so that's where that's going.
the moon looks really dope tonight.
It does.
It's super cool.
You can see it
Yeah.
past the bird shit, probably.
So like there were. Sorry, were you making a point? Or?
Yes. All I was basically saying, and then I would love to hear what your point is. It's calling out the absence of a specific generation of men. You know what I mean? Right? Like, you're allowed to fail if you succeeded earlier, if that makes sense. Like,
Okay,
I don't know.
so the point I was gonna make, and then I thought something else, was you see like 3 different economic statuses of houses, right? Like his house is in the fucking ghetto. It's horrible. He lives above a whorehouse, and it's awful. And then you're at the like all-American suburbs house, and it's still horrible. And then you're at the mansion, the mom's mansion, also horrible. The only place that wasn't horrible was the forest, and his dad was there. And then the thought that I had was
that his dad? For
That's
real?
the thing, is like I couldn't tell if that
Why
actually
didn't-
was his dad.
yeah,
or
I don't
not.
know. Why didn't that guy? Because what you just said was at the men. The men.
He
in,
said he knew his dad.
the men in the first scene are all on drugs and stabbing people.
That's what.
The men in the second one is Nathan Lane, and I don't know if he thinks he's doing a good thing or not. And then there's no real men. I guess there's the therapist in the mansion.
The fear, how what? My man, he's in Dune Part 2. Stephen
Well, he was in
McKinley.
Dune 1.
But yeah,
Yeah.
why didn't?
That guy's got a great agent all of a sudden. What the hell did he ever do?
Dude,
Like, I've never seen him and thought, boy, I love that guy. I have thought he's kind of funny looking.
and he totally got the shaft in Dune Part 1, the Mentats as a whole. But
Yeah, he looks kind of funny, so it makes sense they'd make him be like a different. But like, because he's like a ginger black guy, right?
Yeah.
He was smiling all creepy.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was super. Again, that reminded
I mean,
me.
that's
of-
half of what makes you an effective. That's half of what gets you cast
The
is looking
painting
fun.
of his
No joke.
grandma, that was the
Or looking
funniest
a
part of
certain
the movie.
Huh?
The painting of his grandma.
Oh, that was hilarious. She's all bug-eyed, looking like
Horrifying.
a fucking red-headed bulldog, you know.
Well, I also thought.
Yeah, it cracked me up at one point when it's towards the end of the movie. It's just like she's just so blatantly like
I'm just
right
like,
there in
what
the
the
shot.
fuck
You're
is that?
horrendous.
Well, it's an unflattering portrait painted, probably commissioned by this tyrannical woman.
Birthday.
Oh yeah, it is my birthday.
Birthday greens.
That's why I had
Is
my
it
birthday
still your
milkshake.
birthday?
Hey, fine. It hasn't been my birthday
not
for
your
33
birthday.
years.
Well, you know, close enough for government work.
I don't know. The forest was the only place that was like kind of okay.
Well, I liked that. So one of the things
And then it got destroyed.
that is I'm like, okay, I thought that the sequence in the forest went on a little too long. Maybe that was the point
The whole
because
movie went on too
it's
long.
very meta, yes. But like in the forest, I liked how he gets wrapped up into the play, and obviously, by the way, there's the signification like you need to be thinking about how you are Beau, right? Because we want to blur the line between the audience and the performers, which is so deep, right? Like, and
They
fucking
said that over.
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was a little. It's like okay, whatever, fine. So like
Yeah, for sure.
and he does become part of the play, I guess.
It's a play.
Because hey, all the world's a stage, and people
Yeah.
merely players.
Yeah.
But like, I liked how it went through. Okay, here's the basics in that you like used to actually have to build your own fucking house, and you used to have to actually like grow your own fucking food, right? And so you had a family, and that was what gave you joy, was because you were just trying to survive,
Yeah.
right? And it doesn't ever really go to modernity in that scene, but obviously it's calling back to the beginning when it's just this horrible, just degraded
And then there was a flood.
postmodern landscape. And fucking yeah, there's a flood. Well, that's just like the breakup of the family, right? And then you're lost. And then I thought that shit just went on a little too long.
I
was
hated
just like,
the
what is
masks.
going on? I like the masks.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, I like the masks.
Why were the people
Just like
wearing
okay,
masks?
I get it. But like it's like just like you don't speak their language, like, and then they'll
accuse you of
burning down the village, and it's just like
putting
what is all
their
that?
kids' hands where their feet are, or their feet where their hands are.
Just a commentary of demonizing what you don't understand. Maybe speaking to that a little bit.
Could be a trans thing.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah. But like, I think that like it's really. There's also that like in order to find your family again, you have to be willing to
Go to plays.
no, you have to be willing to get attacked. Is the message
You have
there,
to be willing
right?
to go to a play in the woods and be murdered by a psychotic ex-military man.
Yeah, that was
Where were they? Where were the military? Where did they get deployed to?
Oh, was it
the jungle.
Caracas? Is that what he
Caracas.
said?
Where's Caracas?
Venezuela, right?
Yeah, it's somewhere in South America.
I think it's. Yeah.
Funny.
Could be not.
Yeah,
I mean, who cares?
It's a bummer.
It's
Man.
somewhere.
It's a bummer.
It's also implied though that this
Dude,
guy
their
this
daughter-
guy killed their son.
Okay, let's just okay.
He probably killed the son.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah,
Like
because
they
have
imply
the
this.
bodies.
yeah, they said they found him and
He was just defending himself. It's like, okay, but you just assume that this guy who like is shooting at his own men.
Well, he has PTSD.
Okay, well that doesn't mean he didn't kill their son.
I guess at
Yeah,
that moment
that's
it
a
was,
good point.
It
No,
was
that's a good point.
PTSD. At the time it was happening.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So yeah, Tony Clifton's in the back seat back here. Fucking
Oh,
roast,
yeah, you're right.
roast
Oh,
mode,
God.
roast mode engaged.
So wait, do you still hate it?
I mean, now that I think about it, I hate it less. It was horrible to watch.
Yeah, I think you just.
But
think you
it's
have to
life
let
is
You
horrible.
gotta let it marinate.
Yeah, I know. I don't need to be reminded.
No, but something that can portray the horror of your life accurately
It's just
is
like,
worth
here we
watching.
go again, another
because
day
it's like,
in
oh,
Jasmine's
someone-
life.
Okay, but hold on. It's like, why is a good love song good?
It's gay.
Yeah, that's why. But it's a good love song is good because
This is the content you come here for.
if you've ever been in love, or if you've ever even just yearned to be in love,
Anyone's watching
you can
this,
recognize when someone has captured the feeling, right? So similarly, it's like, okay, part of why existentialism became a thing is because, as Nietzsche points out, I guess it's nihilism there, but
hi. I hate Nietzsche.
is you can't hate or not hate Nietzsche. He just changed the way we see everything. So it's kind of like saying like, oh my God, I hate Karl Marx. It's like, okay, but like,
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan.
no, you're not the biggest fan of most of his adherents, right? Doesn't mean you need to like follow this guy's word as sage. It
I
just
do
means like,
agree
you
with
know, he had an
Gilbert
idea.
Dance.
He didn't kill anybody.
Give me
It's
that.
not. This is kind of, by the way, part of the other message of the movie. It's like you don't just have to do what you're told to do. You know what I mean? You don't just have to fucking go everywhere you're told to go and like smoke the thing you want to smoke and like stand there while this girl kills herself, right? Like you don't have to do that. You could have stopped her. You could have just grabbed the fucking paint from her and said,
Yeah,
don't
absolutely.
ruin this fucking bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like, I think that there's a good call to action there that I appreciate, because to bring it back to Nietzsche, like, dude, in Beyond Good and Evil, he basically says it's inevitable that society will degrade now that, like, we kind of understand that God isn't, like, actually a man in the sky. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you could have a deeper understanding of God.
There was no God in this film.
No, but the point is that
Maybe God was a giant penis.
Bro,
if that's God,
well, no, the point is you're in a godless world,
call
though,
me
and that's terrifying.
Jesus.
It doesn't matter whether you think God is real.
That's what Nietzsche said.
Kind of, yes.
He just said God's
That-
dead.
and, well, yeah,
And
but
we killed
what
him.
happened? Well, we killed him with science and
Mhm.
reason, right? We're no longer living as animals. We have a new, and it's just only going to continue this way, where you continue to shadow your assumptions. It doesn't actually mean God isn't real. It means God as this almighty thing that bound all of Europe together and like kept people in their place. That shit's for sure dead, because, well, even if God is real, I know you're not talking to him. Like shit, people now have access to information.
Right.
So like pre-internet, right? Like everything's just sped up over time, but it's just the disintegration of society comes from oh, well, there are no rules then, right? And this is, anyway, the point is, if you don't actually have to look at Nietzsche though and be a nihilist and say, oh, God's dead, so I guess I'll just kill people, right? And the whole point of stuff like existentialism and absurdism is that you can actually create your own meaning, right? It's not that there is no meaning. It's just like you are actually self-determined. Society creates their own meaning, right? So I think that the movie's kind of saying, if you don't actually decide what your life's going to be about, you'll just die alone in a boat.
Yeah, right. He's criticizing Beau. I mean, it's basically like he's basically criticizing the idea of just standing idly by and not really taking control of any situation. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, because dude, yeah, he's afraid, but does he do anything?
No.
The only time he does anything is when he
Run.
kisses the girl.
He
That's
ran
right,
into
yeah.
The woods.
And then he kills her. And it's like because his load is so powerful.
I guess
Apparently.
that's what killed her.
Bro, it's
That's
it's
the one
wild as hell. See, I enjoyed.
I wish
this
that they had
movie.
explained
Look, I enjoyed this
how
movie.
she died, though.
I guess-
You need to just answer some of these basic questions. Like maybe you don't because it's surrealism, but man, you really weren't so surreal that I'm just like, oh yeah, she's just dead for no reason.
She
Everything
just
else is
froze like
kinda
a rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
She didn't die. She froze.
Like, is she a real person?
Did she just seize? Did her whole body
Did her
just
mom
seize?
poison her with a dart? Like what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe her mom.
I have no idea how she died.
So
Maybe she had the same heart condition. I think that my initial assumption was maybe she had the heart condition, or maybe she's his sister, and she got the condition, or something.
yeah,
But
I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed this movie. Overall, I did enjoy the movie, and I want to watch it again. It's fucking long.
It took fucking forever.
But I do want to see it again. Joaquin Phoenix is fucking incredible.
You think it could have been
in the
made?
movie.
He's good. Yeah.
Do you think
he's
it
great.
could have been made shorter? Do you think you could have said what it wanted to say in less time?
Probably.
How?
Probably could have just
What-
tweeted it.
What was the official runtime? Is it 3 hours?
It's about
It's
3 hours.
2 hours and 59 minutes.
2 hours 59 minutes. I mean, honestly, maybe you could trim 10 to 15 minutes out of there, and you might be able to say the same thing. But
I
Most
think.
of it was
look,
just
I'm here for a
pauses.
3-hour movie. I can do a 3-hour movie.
It was just pauses and zooms. You know?
Yeah, but that's all good shit.
It was. I think it took you on. It definitely takes you on a journey. You know what I mean? Like it's like an odyssey in this fucking weird way. But it's fucking wild and it's weird. I don't think it's as good as other movies, but
just the
worth
pauses.
the watch.
Based on what little I know, and I know literally nothing about Hereditary, and all I know about Midsommar is that it's Wicker Man with a girl. is
it ends up being more than that.
I'm sure, but
Yeah,
I'm just saying
yeah,
that's all I know.
definitely. It's just a
But,
cult
like,
movie and
Knowing what I know about those, which is nothing, I still bet this might be better. I mean, I don't know. I will really like those movies a lot if they're better than this one, because even where this one misfires, it's like at least you're trying. You know what I mean? Like that's what was, if you recall, episode 2.
I mean,
The Northman.
I think
hold on.
I think Hereditary is
The Northman, directed by
superior
Robert
film.
Eggers, if you recall.
Yeah.
My complaint is like at the end, you just end. Oh, go to black. Like.
He's going to Valhalla.
Like, oh, really? We're not going to see Valhalla. You're not going to take this one. You've got me right here, and you're not going to just, like, take me through the gateway and do some, like, yeah, I am the new Kubrick sort of shit. What kind of missed up? That's a pussy move. You just, like, you know what I mean? And, like, at least.
You fucking chomping
Was
out,
it
man.
Ari Aster?
Yeah.
At least this guy's just like, yo, fuck you. I'm going right through that fucking.
Yeah, no, he went for it.
And by the way, instead of cutting to black at the end of the film, and I don't know if this is a comment on Eggers or not, but because that is like Eggers' move. It's just black.
Yeah.
Film's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just were like really enjoying the witch scene. Finally, something happened after like 2 hours of looking at a goat. Fuck you. Movie's over. I'm a genius. It's just like what an overrated piece of shit the witch was. Fucking
I like the witch.
fucking so boring, dude.
I like a good slow burn, man.
It was but slow burn of what? Like I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like
Same.
show me some witch shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for
Like
more
Ari
witch
Aster's
shit,
just
too.
like
I'm always
here's some
down for
witch
more
shit. If Ari
Yeah.
Aster was making that movie, the entire family would have been raped by a goat within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, oh,
Right?
dude. No, I mean, dude.
Would that not be the
yeah.
case?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
Satan
it
would metaphorically rape at least one member of the family in the first
something
third of the movie.
Something insane would happen
Right.
off the bat.
You wouldn't make me wait to see something almost insane, which is a girl lifting off the ground.
Look, that's just
Like
something.
I respect the control it takes to
Ari-
like still keep me there.
Yo, Ari Aster's ability in his movies to have
It's styled out.
what the fuck moments. I
Ari
mean,
Aster has substance.
like
According to this film.
it is on another level. Holy shit, dude! I mean, like, because there are multiple moments in both his other films when you're watching, you're just like, oh, fuck, like, you know, and this one you get a lot of those. Sometimes it's more what the fuck and like I don't really understand this, but it was also kind of crazy, you know. It's not as direct, but yeah, I actually I very much appreciate that.
What were the images with this movie that you thought stood out the most as the best, and what were the ones that you thought fell flat,
The images,
or just
Yes.
moments?
Attic penis.
What did you think about the attic penis?
Why?
I thought it wasn't scary enough.
I just thought, what the fuck and why? Pretty much throughout this whole movie.
Okay, yes, that. Well,
So the play at the end of the play, whenever the guy comes in and he just starts going on a rampage, I thought that was fucking really cool. I loved all the masks and sort of like the animation that they.
did you
showed
notice
in
that the
there.
bard was who stopped the shooter?
Oh yeah,
Who's the bar?
yeah,
It's the guy with the lyre,
yeah.
or whatever it was.
Mm.
And he cranked him over the head with a pot. He was just like the one guy who wasn't a pussy, which does seem kind of like a nod towards the director himself. Is just like, hey, the artist is the one who can actually maybe convince you to do something,
Yeah.
because you've been convinced not to do something by your circumstances.
Go watch more plays.
For sure.
I really liked the way that they shot his
The answer lies in
mother
culture, maybe. Yeah.
a lot of the times. Or like, you know, some of the, like when the lights were sort of flashing the shot where it's just her face, she's talking to him and you see the shadow of her hair,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like red and then blue.
I
and
thought,
everything.
I thought that was okay.
So I like that.
That was one of the moments where I was like, you're trying. It wasn't like blowing
and
my mind.
honestly, the whole sex scene I thought
that was really well done.
was really fucking good.
When they'd made you wait the whole movie,
That
and
whole-
finally you get just some actual chemistry and dialogue.
That whole sequence from him
And
downstairs when she
he
comes
was having
in.
a good time for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
So that whole entire sequence, that whole entire scene, I thought was great. And then obviously the reveal comes that his mother isn't dead. Because at first I'm thinking like, he's killed this girl now. He's like, sort of had some sort of break, and he's just like hallucinating his mother, right? But no, it's like I was like, oh no, she's actually alive. Okay, word.
Well, you know what's funny is so he kind of like blames himself in a weird way for like his mother dying. With getting her head smashed by a chandelier, right?
Yeah.
And fucking he then though is kind of responsible for like the deaths of a lot of people through his cowardice.
He is.
Right?
Yeah.
And like I guess I don't know if he killed Parker Posey or not. That's dude, like symbolically it's a funny. I guess I can understand why you might leave that undefined. I'm gonna let the audience decide, but it's like I don't see a reason to not explain to me why. How did his jizz kill her?
I mean,
did she have a heart murmur?
It was super fucking weird. Yeah,
She
that
froze
was.
to death.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
Turned to stone.
Like if you want to go full Freud, just be like, she's your sister. She had the heart murmur.
I don't think.
Or do something like really
don't
fucked
think
up,
she
which is
was
what I
his
was like. I was
sister.
like guessing. I'm like, what's the next fucked up thing?
She
Like,
was
how did she die? She
working-
must have the heart murmur.
She was working for.
How would she
his
have that?
mom.
How would you find out? And then you never do. So it's like I was just guessing.
He knew her as a kid. You know,
She was working for his mom.
But maybe that's why they had to keep her away from them.
Oh.
Like that was also
Oh,
weird,
I mean-
right? Like what was that whole scene?
Yeah. Shit. Maybe so. Maybe there is some sort of element of incest in there.
I don't know. I don't think that's actually what it was. It's just like that's where I was like trying to guess an explanation. It's like, okay, well, thank you for making me think something weird because your movie's been so weird, and not giving me an explanation.
I didn't think that she was supposed to be like his sister, but yeah.
No, she's not.
Yeah, okay.
No.
At the point, it was like I was just trying to guess why did this bitch die?
Yeah. No, it's very
The mom probably
confusing in
poisoned
that
her.
regard. Yeah.
Like, give me a poison dart, give me a heart murmur, give me a reason. His jizz is poison.
Yeah.
What would have been funny, even just like if she cried a tear of jizz. Like his jizz was so strong, it not only shot through the condom, it went all the way up into her brain
Just a
and
fucking
killed her. That's a funny image,
fucking
and
drop
it's
of
not
smooch,
it's
just
not bad
fucking going down the
symbolism.
Much, I'd like that more than the fucking attic
Fucking-
penis.
I honestly thought the attic penis was hilarious.
I thought it was
Man.
funny,
And I was just like, well, this is
I was
fucking.
just
wasn't
like,
this is
funny
what the
enough
fuck
or scary
times
enough.
10?
but I appreciate. I guess it hammers home. This is a film about masculinity.
Yeah, maybe he's critiquing masculinity.
I don't think so. Because this guy is,
yeah.
she's like, I like that you're not so macho, and then she dies. Right? So if she hadn't done that, if she hadn't fucked that guy, she wouldn't be dead. Right? So like, I think it's, and since his inaction is what causes all these women to die, specifically, and endangers this one mother. Did the mother did the pregnant lady get away?
I think so.
It looked like she did.
I think she did. Yeah.
Okay, good. Nice. But like, no thanks to him, right? She just bailed
Right,
before
yeah,
he
she-
even figured
yeah.
out what was going on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because she had to protect something. She knew what was, like, I don't need to find out, right? I'm going to take action.
Yeah.
Right? And so she is alive. He's not. Well, now he's not yet. But like, it's absolutely, I think, saying what you actually need is masculinity. You can't let your dick get change. Like, don't let this woman own you. Don't let her put you in the attic.
Don't let her not let you jizz.
Yeah.
Right.
Jizz all you want.
Jizz freely.
It's,
Yeah,
well, and I think
yeah.
it's, it's
Jizz free or
adequately,
die.
it's poised so that like people who are more, left leaning will be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Give me
see,
jizz or give
see,
me
like,
death.
Yeah. Give me splooge and give me
give me
death.
splooge tears or death.
No cat.
It's geared so that like if you're
Straight
more
bussin'.
left leaning, you can
Bust
be
in the
like,
bag.
oh yeah, see, Christianity represses people, right? Because he has this.
Busted
There
in
was
bag.
What is
no
that? Was that a
reference.
Virgin Mary?
I didn't see any references to Christianity.
What was
or
the statue
any-
he had?
Oh yeah,
I
he
guess
had
that was it.
That was the
Yeah.
Virgin Mary.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So like,
Saw it, dude.
or something. It was some sort of religious icon.
It was like
Yeah.
an angel or something.
Religious.
And so it's like, he held on to that. It got broken, right?
The lady fixed it.
She glued it back for him.
He gave it to the pregnant lady, and she lives. So there's that. But like, I mean, what do you mean?
Well,
Yeah, of course that
okay.
was a religious reference.
I mean,
That
so
was the only thing.
all right. So after
Pretty
all,
important
okay,
one.
look. After all this, I'm very curious to go to hear what you guys would rate it. I mean, do you guys want to say anything else? Or
What is it out of?
5 stars, right? We do it out of 5 stars.
yeah, we always do it at 5 stars. Yeah, give your.
I mean,
score
are there
reasons.
are there any
Score
other
reasons.
2
final?
stars.
No, I think we can get to that. Yeah.
There, I mean,
I gave it 2 stars because it was way too long.
so 2 stars, just 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5 for me.
2 out of 5.
Mm,
Hold on. What were you gonna give it before?
1 out of 5.
Really?
Okay, so all that only
So you
got
really
you
think,
1
like-
star.
Visually, you don't think it looked good? Like,
What is a 2 out of 5 to you?
I didn't enjoy watching it.
Okay, no, but okay, fine.
Look,
mean, everyone
I
has
think
their own
even
scale,
if you didn't
but you have
enjoy
to
it, I think
think
it's
more
I
objectively.
do think it's a better movie than a 2 out of 5. Personally, like
I
I think just like visually, cinematically, I think
The sound.
yeah, it was really fucking well done.
I didn't love the choice of music in the house.
I
thought that was
don't
kinda-
like things that make me uncomfortable typically. I don't like horror movies, so
Right,
this
but
is
you have to
just
judge it. You have to judge a work
is
of art on
my-
its
You
own
would-
terms.
you would-
Like a 5-star
my
is
opinion. You asked
something.
for my opinion.
I know,
this
but-
is mine.
But the scale I'm asking for your opinion on is where 5 stars means that the film did everything the film wanted to do
Well, I
as well
don't-
as it could have
I
done
don't
it.
know what it wanted to do.
I'm okay. Yeah, I
So that affects my ability
You would-
to rank
2
it.
stars to me is like, it's not bad, but it's not good.
Yeah, like kind of like what I was saying earlier. I don't think it said anything
can you give a movie 0 stars?
new
Yeah,
or
okay.
spectacular. You know, I think it was trying to say something old in a new way, but it was just kind of wacky and weird and didn't make a lot of sense
You would hate Hereditary
and
and,
took forever.
Midsommar. You
Yeah,
would-
I would. I know
'Cause-
that for a
But
fact.
they're much better. They're much better movies, I think.
But you
well, I
don't-
mean, not much better. They're better
I
movies,
don't
but
like
they're terrifying.
Being tortured.
Yeah,
Do you
they're-
don't think
Like
though
I
that
don't enjoy watching horrible things.
what do you think thematically though? Is that all? So all the theme gave you was 1 more star because it seems the theme is what would have given you that star, right?
Well, theme and execution, I guess. The execution really bugged me, for sure.
What do you mean?
It was 3 hours.
I mean, sure, but I don't think they were going to be able to split it into 2 movies.
I mean, just yeah.
Beau's
The attic
Afraid.
penis.
2.
Part 1, Beau's Afraid 2.
The attic, because of the
Beau
attic
is too
penis,
afraid.
I cannot give it more than 2 stars.
All right, all right.
honestly.
What's your rating?
All right. Well, you folks are in for a little treat. I'm gonna give you 3 ratings right now.
Oh God.
I'm gonna rate all 3 of his movies.
1 for each hour.
Yeah.
You're like, dude,
1 for each.
this
Exactly
movie we
one
just
for
saw is
each
cool, but these
hour.
other 2 you haven't seen,
You sh-
those are the shit.
So, first, okay.
We should talk about those ones when I see them.
I would give Hereditary.
Are you using this as a preference for your rating for this one?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I would give Hereditary a 4.5.
Okay.
I would give Midsummer. I used to like. Midsummer is my favorite.
What's Pirates of the Caribbean for you?
Honestly, I've only seen Hereditary once.
5.
I've seen Midsummer a few times at this point, but I think Hereditary I'd probably give a 4.5.
What about Midsommar?
I think I would do 4 stars.
Okay, so Hereditary's better. So where's this one?
So this one,
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn. I'm torn because even though I'm highly confused, and like I said, I think, after seeing it one time and only seeing Hereditary one time, it's like, yes,
Well,
I
you
think
also saw all
is
of
a
Hereditary.
fucking-
You didn't miss the first 15 minutes, 20
Yeah,
minutes.
but it's like, that movie is fucking insane. It's incredible too. I mean, it's icon. It's visually stunning. It's deeply terrifying. And there's some cult shit on it, so it's cool. Beau is like, I definitely think it's a better movie than a 3-star movie, right? Like, I think I gave Renfield 3 stars.
You give it 2.5.
I gave it 2.5. Okay, that makes. I think I gave The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Nicolas Cage. I think I gave that 3 stars.
That was a fun movie.
I think it's better than 3 stars. I think Beau is Afraid. I think it's definitely, it's better than that. I don't know if I can give it 4 stars. But I do feel like if I watched it again, then I would be like, yeah, I would feel comfortable giving it 4 stars. I think initially, if we're just going off the initial reaction, right, which is what it's supposed to be, I guess I'll give it 3.5, 3 3/4. You know, I know it's not a thing, but maybe 3.5 stars.
Only a half, yeah.
3.5 out of 5.
No quarter shit.
But I do think I could bump it up to a 4.
Metacritic out of 100.
I think I could bump it up to a 4.
Okay, so
like on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a
Mulholland Drive's
7.
a 5 for you,
I mean,
right? Mulholland Drive. I'm trying to figure out what your 5 is.
what my 5 would be? That would be a really good question.
I mean, I'd be shocked if Mulholland Drive isn't a 5 for you. Right? Is that not like the best movie ever?
I mean, Mulholland Drive, Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
I think I would both consider those 5s.
What's Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl for you?
I don't think I saw it.
You never saw the first Pirates of the
Oh, is that
Caribbean?
the first one?
Yes.
The first one, I'd give it a 2.5.
That's 2.5.
Yeah.
To me, that's a solid 3 stars.
Soundtrack?
Oh, okay, 3 stars. Okay, I'll give you 3 stars.
I mean, you know what?
No, honestly, I'll give you 3 stars. Yeah.
It's like it's fun, it's
Because
good.
I said,
5 stars.
because I think last week I said it's
All
like the Mortal
Pirates.
Kombat remake, where it's like, okay, for sure, man, this is entertaining. It's like I know what I'm getting here.
So this is
right?
3.5, in that it gave you what you wanted enough, but it didn't accomplish what you think it wanted to fully.
Yeah, I think it rambled a little bit. Also part of my initial impression is that I think it and I know it's right.
But c'est la vie.
It's surrealist, but it meanders a little much in certain spots for me. Thematically, I think it wanders some. I'm just, okay, I don't.
It drags,
Right, so-
for sure.
So yeah, I'll go 3.5.
So we got a 2 and a 3.5. I'm gonna give this baby.
Oh, what are you going with? We're on the edge of our seat over here.
At
Mr.
a
Absurd.
minimum, it gets 4 stars. I'm
Okay,
trying to figure
you're
out
going-
whether it
you're
gets
going
more than
for-
4 stars.
You think, man?
Ugh.
I mean,
I'll have to watch
Okay.
it again to know for sure. So
Of
for
course
now,
you
I'm gonna give it.
liked it.
no.
And
4
now I'm
stars.
gonna
I think
give
4
it.
stars is a very solid grade.
So for me, Mulholland Drive's 5.
Yeah.
A 4-star movie.
I think Dune Part 1 is a 4-star movie for me.
Yeah, that's 4 stars.
I think that's a.
I think Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. Yep.
I have a stylistic tendency towards. I'm trying to think of it.
Apocalypse Now. What do you
That's
rate?
probably 5, 4.5,
Okay.
5.
I think I'd give that a 5. I think that
Yeah,
would probably
that's a 5.
for me.
A 4. I'm trying to think of like a more surreal example of a 4, because like usually surrealism for me,
Lost Highway.
that's a 5.
Oh, hell yeah, dude! I fucking love it, dude. I love Lost Highway so much.
That's a fucking total 5.
We should just do a fucking Lynch episode of just like all 5, right?
That's all.
Just fucking perfection.
Except for
dude.
Inland Empire and Dune.
Wild at Heart, man. What about
Wild at Heart. Wild at Heart, I'd give a 4.
Okay, is that that's
a 4.
I fucking love
So
it.
there's but like I'm trying to think of a non-Lynch, like Mother, I'd give a 4.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
What did I give the
Yeah.
Whale? Did I give the Whale? I should have given it 4 if I didn't give it 4. Whale is a 4.
I
What do you
think you.
rate
I think you did
Medea?
give it a 4.
I never fucking watched that shit.
What was it?
You ever watch Big Mama's House?
No. This is the sort of thing I like. I don't like. Anyway, like
I would imagine that'd probably make a 1-star movie.
like
They're kind of funny.
but usually like Wild at Heart is kind of a rare film in that it's like, okay, it's not. It's
awesome.
it's not quite a 5 just in that like what there's some clunky parts to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's
Um,
the chess movie?
Oh, that's the Seventh Seal. That's a 5.
It's a 5.
That's a great, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and usually it's like either these guys, once you get like a really good artist who understands that cinema is an inherently surreal art form, which is my personal belief, you're either getting just like knock it out of the park shit, or like, almost, right? And this one I think is more than an almost, actually. I think that it's, once we talked about the themes, because I liked the imagery, I liked the aesthetics throughout. The timing didn't bother me at all. It's like, yeah, there were points where it dragged. There's also like all those points happen to be metaphorically like about life. So it's like, oh yeah, I get it. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Like, yes, that's, you have, in order to make the point, you have to kind of bore me. It's kind of almost like a very Herzog or Fassbinder
Yeah.
sort of thing to do.
I was bored.
Yeah, but that's, boredom can be a tool, right?
Yep.
Or Wim Wenders, like that whole German new wave style often was just like, oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, how long are we gonna watch this guy peel a fucking orange?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Japanese cinema has a lot of that
I
too.
would rather.
But like,
Jasmine would rather watch someone.
it's not a 5.
For 3
I don't
hours.
think. I would have to watch this movie.
I don't think it's a 5.
I'd have to watch this movie tripping balls, and like really just be like, no, it is a 5. Like, I'd have to have like a moment with it
I don't see.
to get it there. But it might be a 4.5.
See, I don't know if it could be higher than a 4. I think is like, yes. I think if I watch it again, there's a very good chance I'd be like, no, that's a 4.
I think if I watched it again.
4.5, man. Like,
Here's the thing: if
That's,
we're not working for a newspaper, right?
because
So if I was in the actual press, and like critics still mattered, I would give this movie a 5 just because I want more movies like it to be made, right? Once you introduce like real life thinking, like from a position of influence as to where these scales came from, like you could see like, oh, that's why sometimes maybe Ebert would have just given it a 5 because like, god damn it took risks. And so like on that level, even though I don't have a platform that's meaningful at all, I guess, yet, but like,
Are you afraid?
no, I want more movies like that to be made. I like that it said everything it said. I think it is, for the time, a really, really, frankly, apt statement. I don't know if it's genius, quite, is the thing, right? Like, but it's definitely saying something. The more I think about it, the more I sit with it, that like, I'm just like, I liked it the whole time. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but once I thought about it for a little bit, it kind of fell into place. That's good surrealism.
Yeah.
That's like Louis Buñuel level, like, the whole time. Have you ever seen Exterminating Angel or
I haven't seen that. No.
or That Obscure Object of Desire? We watched Simone of the Desert, right?
Yeah.
And the whole time you're just kind of like, Jesus,
Okay,
like
he's
what?
in the desert.
But also like every scene you're just like, what is it? Like everything's always just like, you're not, where's this going, right? Like, it had that element where you're in a dream, which is what it's supposed to be, and I think it did everything it wanted to do. Actually, when people are like, "Oh, it's meandering," well, it's like, yeah, I think it wanted to meander. So it's like, if you told the director, "Hey, I liked it, but it was meandering," he'd be like, "Yeah, well, fuck you, I wanted to meander." Like,
No, for sure. Yeah.
So like in that regard, it's like, I think it's a 5 in that it does everything it wanted to do, right? In terms of like how that comes off in the pantheon, I think I'll keep it at a 4 for now, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not like,
I think that's a safe rating.
but it.
Or is a solid rating?
I would, if I was writing it in a newspaper, I'd give it 4.5 just to get that 5th star outline.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Just to like give it some good press.
Well, we should definitely watch Hereditary and do an episode on that.
I will not be participating.
Yeah, I don't think Jasmine will like that. Or we can do Hereditary and Midsummer, just do a combo.
Have any interest in watching?
What movies are coming out that look good. I don't even.
I mean, hey, look, the trailer for Dune Part 2 dropped
When's that
yesterday, so the world is dead to me until Dune Part 2
When's
comes
that
out.
going?
November 3rd.
Okay, well,
And
but
I am
there's stuff before
so
then.
unbelievably fucking hyped. And the trailer is awesome. Can't fucking wait, dude. I'm so stoked. Dude.
There's no other movies you've heard about?
No,
You follow
honestly,
that shit more than me.
So okay, Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny is coming out.
When's that come out?
The trailer looks really dope. I think it's this summer.
You guys want to
You
go
got
see
Oppenheimer.
It's May
comes
now,
out.
dude.
See
The
the-
summer movie season has started.
the Barbie?
Well, I think
movie?
like maybe it's like late summer. I think.
You guys have any interest in seeing the Barbie movie?
No, why would I? I mean, who directed it?
Some lady?
Who?
I don't know, but
If it was Elizabeth Banks, which I think it was, no,
it wasn't.
it wasn't her. It was some
No,
actress though, right?
I don't know.
Anyway, I think
It's gonna be
like
terrible.
Indiana Jones for sure. We got to do an episode on.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, Oppenheimer's coming out.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Yeah.
And then I mean, yeah,
Actually, Nolan.
Dune Part 2, baby, give it to me. I am fucking ready.
Okay, quick. All right, thank you very much. Love you, people. Adios,
Peace. Until
muchachos.
next time.